Uncensored, no holds barred talk. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is the Global Reality Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition of the Global Reality right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here tonight for another late-night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. It is Thursday, July 5th into Friday, July 6th, 2012, and so you know what that means. Yes, indeed. It is officially my birthday. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. Another year around the sun. Made it another pass. Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. It's been a while. It's been a week or so since we had a live show. And be honest with you, I didn't really want to do a show tonight either. But I really kind of wanted to just take this whole week off. 4th of July, it's my birthday. I've been going long and strong and hard at this for nearly 5 years. It'll be 5 years in September. And not a lot of breaks there in between, not many long ones. Most of them have been for things like important life events and things of that nature. So, but we are live here with you tonight. I have what can only be described as an ass ton of news. It's, in case you didn't know, an ass ton is right in between a fuckload. It's a little less than a fuckload. Still a lot, but an ass ton is less than a fuckload and a little bit more than a butt ton. So, yeah, butt ton, ass ton, and then fuckload. You know, it's varying degrees. But some of this stuff I've had, you know, of course, stack it up for the past week or whatever. But lots here to talk about tonight. I'll attempt to get through all this stuff, and if we have time, we'll continue our series of reading here for you tonight as well. But that's just pending. It doesn't, you know, take us all night to get through all this news. But I'll be honest with you, too. I even trimmed the hedges a bit. Well, that sounds completely filthy. No, sounds like I shaved my balls or something. No, I didn't trim the hedges in that way. God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come out of the gates with a dirty reference tonight. But I trim the hedges a little bit, I guess. You know, trim the bushes a little bit. That just sounds even worse. Oh, God, I'm digging my hole deeper here. But I trim the fat. How about that? Let's go with that one. I trim the fat, so to speak. I mean, I had some stuff here that I wanted to cover that I actually went back and went, that's kind of filler, you know? You have to do that sometimes when you go through the news. Because there is some stuff sometimes I come across that, you know, and that's another thing. If you don't hear me cover something, a lot of times that happens. People, oh, Josh, do you hear about this? Look at this. Oh, man, it's this thing. I don't know what it is. It's just funny to me. People they always try to act like they're like, you know, they want to come at me with some info that I haven't ever heard about. And it happens sometimes. Not all the time. It happens sometimes. Rick in San Diego is a great one, but you know he's a researcher. That's he does it too. So he often finds stuff that that I haven't found and sends it to me, and it sends me on, other play. Well, it'll be stuff that I find or talk about, and he'll be like, oh, hey, I heard you talking about this. Did you know this? And I'll be like, no, I didn't know that. Holy shit. But most of the time when people try to, hit me with stuff that they think I don't know about or haven't heard about or what have you, it's oftentimes, most of the time it's bullshit. It's absolute disinfo or absolute just, unadulterated lies. But, yeah, it's one of those things where it really could go either way. But I've got quite a bit to cover here with you tonight. We'll be getting into all that. My website where this broadcast originates from is theglobalreality.com. That's theglobalreality.com. I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about with you here tonight. I've got a lot of new research, things that I've found out. It is actually good for me sometimes, regardless of whether or not you people who would love me to do 5-hour shows 7 days a week. It is good for me sometimes to not do shows every single day and to take a few days off sometimes, because it always makes the show when I'm come back. It just always makes the show that much better. Take a few days off, because honestly, the show tonight with all the stuff that I have. Number one, today was a slow news day. Yesterday was a holiday. So some of the stuff's been here. I've had it stacking up for the past few days. But what I'm saying is that all the shows that I would have done this week, essentially, I'm going to be doing tonight. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. But what would have took me 3 nights to do, or what I would have stretched out over 3 nights, just because that's all the news information there was, you're going to get in one night tonight. So kind of a better deal like that when it happens. But it also gives me time to work on other elements and other things that sometimes you don't have time to get to when, the day is consumed by just, prepping for the radio show, researching, and working on films and trying to, also trying to fucking fundraise and, proselytize and fucking, carnival bark and get people to help us and keep us from drowning, help us and keep us going, and not suck us dry like a fucking natural resource that's unreplenishable, which has been a problem. Because, it blows me away still. The amount of listeners we have versus how many people support our work is not equal. And, as much as I've not wanted to do it for so long, I have no choice now. I'm going to have to, because it's just not fair. I mean, the people out there who do support us and those few people who are carrying the weight, we got 2-3 people tops are carrying the weight for everybody. And it's not fair to them. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to anybody. So to help offset, and I hope that those people who have gotten us this far, who do keep us alive, I hope that you guys won't stop that, because it's just vitally necessary. I couldn't do this without you. That's just all there is to it. But I am going to be going to a pay archive system. I'll be slowly integrating that. This show will be free. The stream will always be free. It'll be open. We're going to be kicking the show back a little earlier, too, around the midnight Central hour time, because I want to start going fucking nuts deep in fucking Coast to Coast AM. Fuck those guys. Fuck Clear Channel that owns them. Fuck them all. I'm the only motherfucker that's on this time of night that's talking about the real Moonbat shit. See, they talk about that fake Moonbat shit over there at fucking Coast to Coast AM. They sit over there and talk about ghost stories and shit. Let me just say something right now. This may be ballsy, and it may be my birthday, and it's probably why I'm feeling this way. But you know what? I want to say something right now, and this is the goddamn truth. George Norrie, I'm coming for your job, motherfucker. I'm going to have your job one day. It may not be on Coast to Coast AM or Clear Channel or any of that mess. But one day, I'm coming for the crown, and I'm going to take over the late night conspiracy crown away from fucking Snorri and Coast to Coast AM and reclaim that for the people and give the people real information in the Moonbat hours. How about it? Who's with me? Stand up. Let's see some fucking hands. Yeah, and that's not fucking small talk either. And I don't say anything like that unless I plan on at least attempting to back it up. I mean, when I started the show in 2007, I never even fucking thought about doing a radio show. My brother Jake says, man, you want to do a radio show? And I went, yeah, I should do a radio show. You're right. God damn it. I will. In a year, I was the same kind of ballsy thing as this, you know. I normally, if you know me, that's not really something I really do a whole lot. But I was like, you know, yeah, you give me a year, and I'm going to be going head-to-head with Alex Jones in his time slot, head-to-head. And 9 months later, I did it. And I did it. 9 months later, I did it. Not a year, 9 months later. And I've been going ever since. And, you know, I've said it many times, because it's been said to me many times by, you know, musicians and people in the music industry and people in all walks of life. But it's been said to me many times, you know, if you don't put a worth on what you do, if you don't put a value on what you do, nobody else will. And giving everything away for free all the time eventually starts to put something on an air on what you do that it's not worth paying for. You know, that's why it has to be free. And, you know, as much as I don't like it, I mean, I don't like the fact that they keep the food locked up and we have to go, you know, we have to work these slave jobs and all this stuff. They keep the food locked up from us. You just can't go out there and get it, right? They keep the books locked up, you know. If you want books, what? You have to buy them, right? Or you have to pay to go to college. College is not free, right? Well, I don't know, man. All those things, I see the crap that people spend money on a daily, weekly basis, you know. And you can give up your fucking Starbucks to listen to this show. How about that? And, you know, I know there's people going to be bitching and pissing and moaning, but there's, you know, the gentleman from the UK that sent the email and that said that same thing, you know. People are wasting all this money. They're wasting all this bloody money, man. What the fucking wankers, man. They're wasting all this bloody money on fucking college, man. It's fucking bollocks, man. Fucking English motherfuckers. Oh, y'all make me smile. You're just too funny. But, you know, he's absolutely correct. I mean, people are going out there and blowing. Look at these fucking student loan bullshit, man. Look at this fucking. Tell me that's not enslavement for Jump Street. Yeah, let's you know, program all these kids. Oh, you know, you ain't going to be jack diddly squat shit in life. You don't have a college degree. You know, good luck finding a fucking job once you get that college degree. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Right? This whole thing, and they get you enslaved and trapped with these student loans that, goddamn, even if you get a good paying job, you're going to be spending fucking the next 20 years paying them off anyway, most people. People going in hock to buy what they believe to be an education, which is nothing of the sorts, in order to get a piece of paper which will allow them to go have a better quality slave job. It may be a better quality slave job, but guess what? It's still a slave job. Someone else is still the boss. Someone else still tells you what to do. And you're just a cog in the wheel. Probably didn't learn much more than you fucking already knew before you went into college. But because you were able to take everything they told you and process it through that left brain and regurgitate it back out to them in exactly the same way they put it into you, without any edits or any additions or any real thought of your own, you get the piece of paper. And, you know, I don't have a degree. I didn't go to college. Well, I didn't. Let's just say this. I lived in a college town for 3 or 4 years, right out of high school. And me and my buddies used to fucking go down there with our backpacks and go walk around the campus, and I'd go in there. I mean, you could never fucking get away with this now, not after 9/11, but this is like 1995, man, I'd walk into fucking classrooms and sit down and while somebody was giving a lecture, dude, and sit there and fucking take notes, I did that a lot. Nobody ever caught me. Nobody ever said a goddamn thing to me. Nobody ever acted like I wasn't supposed to be there, because no, I was of the age. I was the same age as everybody else at that time. So, it's crazy. I'm kind of fortunate for that time in my life because I got to have a college experience. I got to experience all the things that people experience when they go to college. But I didn't have to fucking blow $350,000 to do it, But it was a crazy, wild time in my life. But my thing about it is that I've had a lot of experiences in my life, and that's what I bring to the table here. My experiences combined with my mind, how it works, my research, how long the expanse of time in which I've been looking at this stuff, and the amount of time I've had to go over it and weed out the crap. That's the biggest thing you get from me and my work and my show here, is that I'm not bringing you the filler and the crap and all this stuff. Everything you get on any of my shows is heavily edited, man. I don't fuck around with extraneous bullshit. I cut right to the bone, cut right to the core of this stuff, and get right into it. And I do it in the best way I can for the stage of this, of where this that I'm at. And that's been the great thing about the show too, is it's been a great document for my growth. I would never have grown and learned the things that I've learned and have the kind of knowledge I have now had it not been for the start of doing this radio show. It would never have happened. And that may not have a value to everybody out there, but it has a value to me because it's who I am. It's everything that I am. It's what I do. And I, those people who keep us going every month, man, I applaud you, and I love you more than you'll know for making it possible for me to do this. But, those people out there who say things like, I want your knowledge, I want your information, and I want your show, but I have zero interest in helping out the operating costs at all. I got to cut you loose. You're dead weight to me at this point, and I just don't have the time or the energy anymore for any dead weight at all. Because where I'm getting now with this stuff, and where I'm going, and how my knowledge has been built, I've got to start finding ways to where I don't have to spend a portion of my time trying to figure out where the money is going to come in to be able to keep going and make the next film, man. Spend $10,000-$20,000 on film and make $500 or $600 back. It's you can't do that anymore, and have everybody complain when they don't get it for free. I mean, publishing companies don't put out books for free. Movie companies don't put out movies for free. Record companies don't put out records for free. But if you want those things, you have to pay for them, unless you go and pirate them and all that stuff, which, I'm all for in some cases. But I'm also for all the things that I pirate as far as those things go. If I don't pay for somebody's work, most of the time it's because either A, they don't fucking need it, and it's just going to feed some corporate fucking slave entity anyway, so fuck them. But bands and stuff like that, and filmmakers that I like, if I download their shit, it's because I've either A, bought a bunch of their shit already, or B, I plan on buying more of their shit in the future. Because, all the bands I love and stuff, sure, I download their records. If I can get Rush's new album like I did before it comes out on a torrent, you better fucking bet your ass I'm going to download that fucking torrent. But I'm also going to fucking go to the concert. I'm going to buy the T-shirt. I'm going to buy the CD. You know what I mean? So that's the thing is that there are people who are, you know, they not only do they want a free show, but they don't want to have to at least buy the T-shirt for the free show they got to go to. You know what I mean? A lot of people, if they're not buying the T-shirt, not buying the CD, just take, and it's got to end. So I haven't really decided the amount, maybe $2, maybe $3, I don't know. People have asked a lot of people want a thing where they don't have to go every day. Right now, the only thing I can do is this Podbean thing that I'm doing, and it shells them out like one at a time. There's no way I don't think there's any way to set up a monthly subscription thing, but I'm going to talk to Man Hydra and see if we can do like a VIP members section thing for like, I don't know, $40 a month or something like that, $50 a month, and do, access to the already existing 128K archives with new ones and make that for, a fee every month where you can get it that way, where you won't have to go to this other, because as it stands now, this is going to be the last show. It's going to be for free. And it's going to be, we've already got the thing set up to be like $2 a show, something like that. And, but that's, if that goes well and it takes off and we get a lot of support in for that, there could be a possibility that we wouldn't even have to have shipping banners or anything like that every month. But to be honest with you, dude, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't, but that's something I've got to take the chance I got to take at this point. I just can't go any further without doing it. If that means, because there is a risk, there's a risk that I could lose. Well, think about it. Let's do the numbers here. If you take all, realistically, I look at my listenership, look at my numbers, look at YouTube videos, views, and all that stuff, and then I look at how many contributors we have on our shipping banners on a regular basis. Maybe last month, I think maybe it was like 23, something like that. A lot of those small amounts. So that really makes me feel that, wow, does that mean that out of all the thousands of listeners I have in over 37 countries, last time I checked, 300,000 listeners a week, so 300,000 a week times 4, you do the math. What, 1.2 million or something like that? And only 23 of those care enough to see us continue by supporting our work. I just, those kind of numbers scare me. Because it shows me that there are listeners out there. But my problem is, what if only 23 people want to pay the $2 a show or whatever? And that may be the reality. And if that's the reality, that's what I'm going to have to deal with. So, nothing's going to change as far as the shipping banner stuff go. We're still going to need donations and support like that, even though the show's going to be paid. But right now, what we need is I need something that is consistently coming in. And I think if you look at what you spend $2 a day on and you look what you get from the value of the information and stuff that I present on this show and the books that I read, to me, it's a no-brainer. If I lose some of those people out there, I just, I can't be bothered by it, man. I've got to let it go. If you feel something has value, you'll pay for it. If I feel a show has value, I'll pay $2 a show for it. But the problem is, though, is that I'm also going to be getting real strict on the re-uploading of the show. Let me go through these guidelines for you real quick here concerning this, because it's kind of tricky territory. Okay, if you pay for one of my shows, you are not allowed to take that show in any way, shape, or form and re-upload the entire show on YouTube or on BitTorrent or anything else. And if you do, I'm going to find out you do. I'm going to ask you to take it down. If you get caught doing it again, I'm going to come at you with legal action. That's all there is to it. Now, with that said, what I will allow is, I will still allow there to be people who take clips from the show and use those in, their radio show, or, there's some people out there who do that, or use it in their, to make use it in their film or whatever, or take something from the show and make a clip out of it. There's a lot of people who've made clips, like the guy who made the Los Alumbrados thing, and a lot of people like to take, like, clips, and they'll call it something, like it'll be, me talking about a subject, so it'll be, Josh on this subject, whatever, and they'll take it and they'll cut that, and it'll be, a 10-minute segment or a 15-minute segment or maybe a 30-minute segment or whatever. That kind of stuff is still all okay. You're still all welcome to do that all you want with the show. The only thing that I ask is that I do not want my shows reproduced and re-uploaded anywhere on the internet for free, and I'm going to be extremely strict and harsh about this. And I'm also going to be trying to do the best I can. A lot of people, what a lot of people want, and I don't know if it's available with this Podbean thing, delivery system. As far as I know, you can just do it show by show here, but I don't really know yet. I won't know until I do a show and upload it and put it up there and see. So I think what I'm going to do tonight is take this show and actually put it up there, just to just so I can see what it does when you put a show into it. Because until I do that, I won't know how much to charge, or if there's an option to buy it by the month or whatever have you. But and I'll also talk to Man Hydra, and I'll see if we can come up with some kind of a way. I know there's a way on PayPal where you can set something to give somebody a code, and then they can put that code into something that'll let them in the site or whatever. We may do something like that as well. Yeah, that's that's my thing. I just wanted to get that out there and let everybody know that is happening. And I will do this over having to sell dick pills or Jew gold or any of that other stuff. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people out there don't give a fuck one about me. They give a fuck one about me. Don't even like me, who listen to this show. Give a fuck one. They don't give a shit. They don't care rat's ass one about me or my work at all. The only reason they listen to the show is because they know I'm fucking good. And they know I'm on it. And they know I know my shit. And so people that hate me and don't even like me tune into this show so they can get the information that I put out. They could give fuck one about me. And I'm hoping this will weed those fucking people out as well. If not, I'll at least get their fucking money. So that's my big thing with all this, is that, maybe this will make our audience smaller. But at the same time, if it makes our audience be comprised of only the people who really honestly care and really honestly want to be a part of this and want to be involved in this research and this work, and actually be a part of it. As soon as you donate $1 to my work, you're a part of it. You're I don't have a group, and I'm not a leader, and I'm not trying to lead anybody to anything here, but you've helped out the cause. So there you go. That's my rant on that, and I don't know what else to say, but it's long past time. I'm not going to be doing any more free. My movies are not going to be put out for free anymore on YouTube. In fact, I'm contemplating taking all those down. Some people ask me to take those down. Maybe I should, but I think about maybe just leaving them. I mean, they're already there. Fuck it, but or maybe just putting up small previews and stuff like that. I don't know. But these guys like Alex Jones, this is all Alex Jones' fault, because he gets all this funding from these fucking unknown sources. Well, unknown to some, not unknown to me. That's for goddamn sure. So watch my Secret Right films if you want to know about that. This guy brings in, he was bringing in $250K a month in 2007 from video sales and sponsors and all this. Guy's pushing probably over $500K a month now at this point. I mean, he lives in a fucking almost $2 million house with a servant's quarters and a living nanny and a glass bottom boat. I mean, come on. Yeah, you at the grassroots. Yeah, that's what you have is a mansion and a glass bottom boat when you're grassroots and you're real, right? Yeah, seriously. And our budget every month is $1,500. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, if I found a way, and believe me, if there were sponsors to be had where I could bring in $3K a month, $3,000 a month, I'm not talking $300,000 a month like Jones or $500,000. I'm talking $3,000 a month. If I found a way to get enough money coming into this operation to supply us with $3,000 a month, we wouldn't have to have chip-in banners ever again. We wouldn't have to have fundraisers for movies. I could make movies and put them out for free and put out all the radio shows for free. That's not a lot of money, folks. Not a lot of money at all when you look at how much that motherfucker's bringing in to put out his lies and his CMP-controlled Knights of Malta Jesuit crap. Now, I'm tired of it now. And I've got to do what needs to be done. That's the whole thing. I mean, my God, think about that. $3,000 a month. And I could fucking start selling Jew Gold on here and be fucking bringing in probably $10,000 a month pretty quick. But it's not what I'm going to do. So, again, if I lose some of you from this, from the pay archives, say la vie, but that's all there is to it. Leave what YouTube videos? You mean my movies on YouTube? Is that what you're saying, Jamie? My YouTube, the movie? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave those there. Well, all the existing anything that's already posted, that's already out there prior to this point won't be taken down. Not past shows or anything like that. It'll all still be up there. But also to Illuminated Scam, he runs our TGRFP, Global Reality Followers page, channel, whatever it is on YouTube. Posts all the shows every day. I don't have a problem if you're listening, Illuminated. Hopefully he'll put this show up on the channel tomorrow or maybe in a few hours today. But if you want to do chop cuts or you want to do 45-minute little small things or 30, if you want to do little cut and chop, don't take out just put in all the best bits. But if you still want to do like a preview thing, maybe like a small amount of the show to put up every day, and then put a thing on there that says, if you want the complete show, go here, follow these instructions, whatever. I'm still cool with that. I still like to keep that channel going that you've been doing for us, because I think it's been a great service and brought in a lot of people and things of that nature. But and also, the books and stuff as well too. If you still want to cut the stuff from the books out and stuff like that, the people who make the audiobooks for me, those people are still welcome to do that, because that's been a great service for us to be able to put up on the website. We had one guy who's done them all. God bless him for doing all that for us. Anyway, there's going to be some leeway in there as far as that goes. But anyway, I'm done talking about that tonight. I'm ready to get on to talk about some info and stuff. Sorry about that. But I just need to get out there, at least getting out there once, and let everybody know where I stand on it and everything, and tell you where I'm coming from on this, so you understand where this decision's based. And it wasn't based in a rash decision, but it's one of those things that I've got to do to grow. And I'm never going to grow, and I'm just going to keep spinning my wheels. I got to at least try to do something different. If it blows up in my face and it doesn't work out or whatever, which I don't think it will. Because like I said, the people who are real and are really, really want to support my work. I mean, I've got many emails And thank you to those people. I got many emails from people who said, please, by all means, fucking make it a pay-per-play show. Please, go do it now. And it's funny to me that all those people that said that, not all of them, mind you, but a lot of those people that said that are the people who actually pay and support us every month and make donations every month. It's funny. I mean, so, you don't go out and buy a record by a band that you don't like and listen to it, right? But the bands you really do like, you'll go and buy their record, right? Well, that's the thing, man. I really think the world will weed out the fence sitters and the people who are, just want the entertainment or whatever have you. I think it'll be good to weed some of those people out. And, if you're one of those, it doesn't have to be that way. That's all I could say. Let's get into this gargantuan stack of news. It is my birthday again, by the way. Did I mention that or not? Yeah. Well, I mention that again. Yes, it is my birthday. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for their birthday wishes. Birthday donations are definitely welcomed and appreciated. TheGlobalReality.com. I'd love to be able to go out for a nice dinner on my birthday or something. It'd be nice. But anyway, let's get into this. Oh, wait. I can't. Shit, I'm not ready to get in the news yet. Yeah, we're not going to be reading any books tonight. Sorry. We'll do that next time. I got too much news, too much other shit I got to talk about, and I talked about the pay-for-play thing for way too long, but it needed to be said. But please remember that I said all that on July 5th, the July 5th show, for future reference. Please just write that down, make a note of it, because I don't want to have to repeat all that shit in future shows. I might just cut all that stuff out and put that up as a soundbite, because I don't want to have to repeat all that stuff about, what's okay to cut out of the shows and what's okay to post and what's not. Because I know there's going to be a million questions about that, but just make a mental note of that. I did want to tell you, I talked about over the past several weeks, Beringer Hill, Lake Buchanan down by Austin, and this was the location that I believe, from my research, to be the location, the best possible location for the mining of the different rare earth metals and materials that were used in the rock wall. I mean, there's you got a type of feldspar. A feldspar granite that's only been found in two places, there and at rock wall in the walls. It's a feldspar granite. It's very rare. Not to mention, zircon being the most predominant element found at Beringer Hill, and the predominant element subsequently being found in the rocks of the rock wall also happen to be zircon, along with these other rare earth metals. They found 5 rare earth metals inside Beringer Hill that had never been identified, never found anywhere else on the planet. And it was deemed one of the largest and greatest rare earth metal finds ever anywhere on the planet. And now, I mean, let me ask you a question. Doesn't it seem a bit odd to you that with all of that, those metals there, but think about it, when that was built and that was done with the New Deal. Lake Buchanan, I think, was built in 1935, something like that. We hadn't hit the technological revolution yet, and so a lot of these rare earth metals at that time, yeah, they were valuable still then, even then, but they didn't have the use in computers and in weapons technology and in, space flight technology, none of that stuff. And so creating that lake, damming up the Colorado River, that's what they did. They dammed up the Colorado River. And the area, if you go and look at Lake Buchanan on Google Earth, it's insane. It looks like a fucking like a crater. It's just like a big rock formation. Like they built this dam, diverted the Colorado River, and built this lake on top of this giant rock structure. I mean, you can tell it's a rock. The whole thing's a rock structure. I mean, there's islands that pop up in the middle of it. There's all around the area of the towns around the area. There's all kinds of rare rocks. Actually, there's a town near there called Lalano, and in Lalano, there's actually an element found in Lalano called lalonite. And lalonite I found it is very, very valuable at rock and mineral shops. It goes for quite a bit of money. I'm thinking about going down there and see if I can get me some. It's on the side of the road and just break it off with a hammer and chisel. But it's only found, lalonite is only found in this town of Lalano, which is not very far from Lake Buchanan and Beringer Hill. Well, Beringer Hill, I found out was located. I was able to find out where exactly it was at Lake Buchanan. And, folks, you know, I've talked about many times that, you know, when you're doing this research, you will find things in your research that you did not plan on finding. And they'll open up a whole other rabbit hole for you that you weren't expecting. And my God, that's what this has done. I mean, the implications of this, folks. So they dammed the Colorado River. They built this lake where, of course, Beringer Hill was bought by fucking the guys who stole Tesla's technology and sold it to J.P. Morgan and shelved it. Thomas Edison and Westinghouse. They got some of the yttrium, I believe it was, which is a radioactive compound found there. They got some of that out and made a few light bulbs out of it, and then all of a sudden there was this hasty decision to, you know, dam up the Colorado River, and all these hasty decisions going on all over the place. I mean, this was at the same time they did that in Muscle Shoals, the TVA, and there was archaeological Indian sites and stuff there that they buried under a lake they dammed up. I mean, I went to, you'll see it in my new film if it ever comes out. I've got footage from the Florence Mound in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, that overlooks the lake that was created when they dammed up the Tennessee River. And at that same time, in Texas, at Lake Buchanan, down by Austin, we had this, at Beringer Hill, they built a dam right next to Beringer Hill. And when they built the dam, and they started building this lake, the government was under the impression that it was going to take at least, I don't remember how long they said. It was a while, 3, 4, 9 years maybe. 3 years, 9, it was a long time. It was years for this thing to fill up, for the lake to fill up. And a freak rainstorm occurred and caused the lake to fill up in just 9 days, completely covering Beringer Hill and causing it to sink under the waters of Lake Buchanan, where it still exists to this day. But one of the things that the Wikipedia page doesn't tell you about, that I have found on subsequent deeper digging, is that not only was the Beringer Hill there, but there was also a mine shaft that went down into a mine located there at Beringer Hill as well that was covered up by the lake water. And supposedly in this mine, the United States government mined the uranium that was used in the Fat Man and Little Boy atomic experiments when they first destructed their test nuclear weapon, which, of course, by the way, according to legend and stories that are told, they also, inside Fat Man and Little Boy, put a golem that was created out of this, I think Rosemary Parks was her name, the Scarlet Woman, that Jack Parsons had knocked up. And the CIA, that's a fact. Now, I've actually seen that confirmed. The CIA cut this child out of her womb at 9 months, like right before she was about to be born. And supposedly they put it inside this golem creature. Well, they cut the baby out, then they did these magical rituals after it died and created a golem out of it. Because Jack Parsons and his butt buddy, they were both Crowley worshipers, L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons, not just worshipers, they were direct followers. They were direct Crowleyites. In fact, Jack Parsons set up the American branch, the first American branch of the OTO, to the Ordo Templi Orientis, in Pasadena, California, in the same location where he set up the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And by the way, one of the things he was famous for, he invented a pentagram-shaped vortex that causes rocket fuel to burn at a more efficient rate. It's still used to this day in our intercontinental ballistic missiles and our launch rockets we use for spacecraft and everything else. The guy's one of the greatest rocket scientists of all time. He is also one of the greatest magicians who ever lived, even greater than Aleister Crowley. Because Jack Parsons conducted the Babylon working ritual, which is supposedly one of the deepest, darkest, and most difficult magical rituals to ever do or conduct by anybody. And so I heard, because Wikipedia doesn't say anything about there being uranium at Beringer Hill, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't fit what I've read. It'll say, all the stuff says yttrium and all these other radioactive elements. But, I had said a couple weeks ago, hey, well, fuck, man, that stuff's sitting down there. If we know it's sitting down there at Lake Buchanan, the government has to know it's down there, right? Well, I was saying, let's start a rare earth mining company. Let's go down there and get some of this stuff. Well, somebody's already beat us to the chase. Somebody's making a move for Beringer Hill, and I don't suspect it is our government at all, although our government may be aiding in this. I don't suspect this is our government at all. I believe this to be China. I believe China is making a play and a run. I believe they have been for some time at the rare earth metal stock in Lake Buchanan. I'll tell you why. I mean, the Chinese are they're all, dude. They're building shit out in Rockwall like fucking mad. They're building Buddhist monasteries and shit out near Rockwall. Not far, I shit you not, out in Rockwall, right near, like just outside of Rockwall. They've got a temple out there. We went to it once, where they have the largest Buddha statue in Texas. And there's Chinese monk temples that are being built out on Lake Lavon, which is right near Lake Ray Hubbard, near Rockwall. But the Chinese have had the market cornered on rare earth metals since time immemorial. And all the rare earth metal mines we had in this country got shut down because China was stacking them deep and selling them cheap more than anybody else could. But now China's running out, and they're scrambling. And a lot of the big Chinese technology firms that make things like our iPads and our iPhones and those kind of things are in dire need of some rare earth metals. Well, our governor here in Texas, Bilderberg Group member that he is, Rick Perry, against the advising of, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know if you don't live in Texas, do you know, can any of you out there tell me of another governor in any other state besides Texas that could go against the advice or the statements, the public statements of the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Defense regarding possible cyber warfare attacks and possible industrial espionage and spying and espionage against the United States government, which is tantamount to treason? And in my honest opinion, they'll probably throw me out of the goddamn state for saying this. Our governor, Bilderberg Group member Rick Perry, is a traitor. Because, again, Department of Homeland Security says, and you can go look all this up, that the Huawei Electronics Corporation out of China is a threat to national security based on the possibility they may conduct a massive cyber warfare attack against the United States and may possibly be spying on the country. Guess what? That didn't make a fuck to Bilderberg Perry. You think Bilderberg Perry answers to the fucking United States government? Hell fucking no, he doesn't. He sold all our toll roads out to King Juan Carlos of Spain a long time ago. Him and Giuliani were here brokering the deal, baby. Right here in Dallas, right Louisville, right up the road from me. Fact. Well, again, Rick Perry doesn't take his orders from Washington, D.C. He takes them from a higher authority than that. And no, I don't mean God. Higher authority than the United States government. Because, and you can go look this up as well, just go to the search engine and go to Google and type in Rick Perry and China and see what you come up with. And I promise you'll come up with a lot. You'll find the article about Rick Perry allowing the Hawaii Electronics Corporation, HUAWAI, I think is how you, Hawaii, something like that. I believe is how you pronounce that name of that company. But they're an electronics company. And guess what else they happen to be? They happen to be one of the biggest consumers, one of the biggest gobblers of rare earth metals around. Now, ain't that some shit? Well, guess what Rick Perry did? Rick Perry said, come on in, boys. Come on in from China now. You're down here in Texas. Come on in here. Comet Chinese, we like it. Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. And Hawaii comes here, again, against the United States government, or against Homeland Security. I mean, if you and I started having business dealings with people who were reported by the Department of Homeland Security to commit possible terrorist acts against the United States, they'd have us fucking locked up or in Gitmo or fucking somewhere pretty goddamn quick, wouldn't they? But our governor here in Texas invites this corporation and lets them set up their world headquarters, not just an office or a plant or something. No. Their world headquarters right here in my backyard in Plano, Texas. They are one of the biggest gobblers of rare earth metals. We've had a drought here in Texas for some years now. I know that's happening all over, but ladies and gentlemen, in the 1970s, it's been admitted to for years. In the 1970s and the 1980s, Russia, who had a HARP system long before we ever had HARP in Gakona, Alaska, had the Sura, S-U-R-A, Sura ionospheric heating facility located directly across the water from HARP, by the way. And it's openly admitted to they were conducting droughts and weather warfare against the United States in the heart of the Cold War in the 1970s and the 1980s. Now, you still got that search engine open? Did you type Rick Perry in China in there? Go open another tab. Go type in China weather modification. And get ready for the fucking hit storm that comes. Because it's going to be boom, 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 link after link after link. Now, they've had some activity recently. We've covered the stories here on the show concerning strange clouds and things over China, which are the hallmarks of these weather modification ops. Now, this drought has caused all the lakes in Texas over the past 4 years or so to have a massive reduction in the water table. And the water table being the level of the lakes. And I was reading stories a couple of years ago, even before I was onto this Beringer Hill thing, about Lake Buchanan and some of the other lakes down there in south central Texas near Austin, where there was over 30 people arrested. That's extreme. 30 people arrested for taking artifacts and whatnot out of these dry lake beds where the water table has been reduced. I love that. It's okay for our government to get us behind a war against a country who didn't attack us, yet we're told that they did, or associated with them. Well, they may have weapons of mass destruction. We can't have another 9/11 times 1,000 on our hands. Well, fuck them. Let's go kill some fucking sand niggers. Let's go. Yeah. And that's what they did. And we were like, yeah, America, let's go. Let's go kill them. And then later we were like, maybe that wasn't a good idea. And so, you can't go and pick any of this stuff up here, be putting people in jail. And I was saying, well, something's going on with this, And I've been watching chemtrail planes since 2004. And a lot of these planes have been identified as NATO planes. That's always been something that's been strange to me. And a lot of them also are just, like I've caught on video, are just red. Who has a fascination with painting their airplanes red? I don't know. China, maybe? But when you look at China's history of weather modification, and you look at the fact that this was going on against us in the heart of the Cold War by Russia, it would not be a far stretch of the imagination to say that China is causing a drought. This is what I believe from the research. I believe China is engaged in these weather modification operations, specifically here in Texas. I don't know about the rest of the country. I don't know. I would say if they're doing it here in Texas, probably they're doing it all over. But I'm just talking about specifically here in Texas. I believe they're 100% responsible for the drought, and I believe they are causing the water table to drop at Lake Buchanan so they can have access to Beringer Hill to mine it and get the rights to mine it. Now, here's the stuff I found out. This is just mind-blowing to me. Since Lake Buchanan was constructed, there has never been any problems with any health issues or people living around there. And, of course, just like they did in Muscle Shoals there around the Tennessee River, they sold all these resort properties, million-dollar homes and rich resort properties. Drive-by truckers have a song about that. It's called Uncle Frank. I mean, it describes perfectly, them flooding out the holler and selling all the land to doctors, lawyers, and musicians, and what a shame and all that. I mean, it just tells it perfectly. Well, that's the same thing they did here in Lake Buchanan. And, they have some people who stay there year-round, and they have some people who, it's just their vacation home. They come periodically. And over the past 4 years or so, since the water table has been dropping dramatically at Beringer Hill, Lake Buchanan, rather, where Beringer Hill is located, cancer rates have been exploding. Exploding. In fact, there are a number of people who are calling themselves whistleblowers who are on the internet trying to expose this and get this information. That's where I found a lot of this information. And and we're not talking about just one type of cancer, folks. People are getting 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 different types of cancer. And this has been directly correlated with the reduction of the table water at Lake Buchanan and Beringer Hill. Almost every person who has lived in the vicinity of Lake Buchanan and been a constant resident there over the past 4 years, people of all ages, all backgrounds, are getting cancer left and right. Same thing in Muscle Shoals, an area. In fact, Drive-By Truckers talk about that in one of their songs as well. Another one of their songs, a completely different song. Mary Allen's got cancer, like everybody here. It seems like everybody knows getting cancer every year, and they talk about that in their documentary as well. They're like, North Alabama, come for the golf, stay for the cancer. And so from what I found out, same thing. There, cancer rates exploding all around that area. Why? What's there? Well, I don't know about Muscle Shoals, but I can say what I found out about Beringer Hill. So this mine that I wasn't aware of, I thought there was just the rock formation and there was minerals there and whatever, and they covered it up with the lake. But right near Beringer Hill, there was actually a mine shaft where supposedly, again, they mined the uranium for Fat Man and Little Boy. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the lake levels filled back up, or rather filled in and filled up in 9 days, way faster, allegedly, than they had expected. And so what happened is that when the lake filled in, the mine shaft was never filled in, was never covered. So if there is indeed uranium and yttrium and all these other elements in there, it would stand to reason that the water in Lake Buchanan would be affected by that. But the parts per million have never been that high ever in Lake Buchanan until over the past 4 years since the water table has been reduced. Now, since the water table has been reduced, the parts per million of radioactivity, and I plan on going down there with a Geiger meter. I've got one on my wish list. It's like $100. And I'm planning on getting a Geiger meter and go down there and doing some tests and getting it on video, are just through the roof. And in the past 4 years since the water table has dropped at Lake Buchanan, the radioactivity is off the charts. And this corresponds with the explosion in cancer rates that have been seen, or the people who live there year-round all around the lake. Now, this is the perfect plan. They took people's land when they originally built the lake. Same thing as they did in Muscle Shoals. Eminent domain, right? Well, they did the same thing at Lake Buchanan. There were people who had, heirloom pecan trees and pecan groves, heirloom, that produce hundreds of thousands of pecans a year. They had to leave them. They got destructed and torn down and built over, and flooded out, and the lake built over. People's whole lives and families were crushed around it. Well, now, that was 1935. Now it's 2012, and they're getting ready to do the same old thing again, except this time, see, this was smart of them. People who have money to buy $1 million resort properties around an artificial lake, right? If they have enough money to buy that, chances are they have enough money to have a really good insurance policy, right? So you stick them with three or four, my God, 3 or 4 different types of cancers. You bleed them dry till their insurance policy runs out, and then what happens? They got to start liquidating property, right? What's going to be the first thing to go? First thing to go is probably going to be that $1 million resort property, right? Well, guess what else has exploded in the past 4 years? Coincidentally, I'm sure that's what the official story is. Coincidentally, something else has exploded along with cancer over the past 4 years, coinciding with the reduction of the water table at Lake Buchanan. And the other thing that's exploded there, coincidentally enough, is property values. So every time one of these people contracts 3 or 4 different cancers, from the extreme levels of radiation that are now being pumped out of Lake Buchanan because of the water table drop and the exposure of these radioactive elements now affecting things more. When the water table was covered up, it didn't affect anything. So they get milked dry, they die. The bank gets their house, the property value gets jacked up, and after a while, eventually, there won't be anybody, and that's what's happening down there right now. No new buyers are coming in. Whoa, how come we're getting this house so cheap? If you don't mind me asking, what happened to the last owner? So what they're doing is they're jacking the price of the land value there, and then eventually, once everybody dies off, they'll own all the property all around there, and they'll be able to come in and mine Beringer Hill and ship all that stuff off to China. Folks, they're pumping billions of cubic yards of natural gas out of the Barnett Shale here in Texas, not too far from where I live. They got Tommy Lee fucking Freemason Jones up there. I'm Tommy Lee Jones. Barnett Shale is good. Bring some jobs to the Texas. Meanwhile, every drop of that gas is going to China. Are we to believe that those rare earth metals wouldn't go to China as well? Where do you think all the gold went that was in the World Trade Center towers? Where do you think all the steel went that was in the world? They admitted to that. Giuliani shipped all the steel from the World Trade Center towers to China. Why? As cover for the gold and whatever else was in there they shipped off to China. China owns us. And they are not going to fall behind in their manufacturing of electronics, especially when you think of things like the iPad and spy satellites and next generation anti-grav technologies and what have you. I believe that Bilderberg Perry has sold us out to China. He's allowed them, the Hawaii Corporation, to come and set up shop here in Plano in order to be closer to their operation. They are jacking up the prices of the land around the Lake Buchanan. They're killing everybody off with cancer. And they are doing this so they can get in there and not only be able to get the trillions of dollars in rare earth metals and resources out of there, but also further cover up the evidence that I want and I seek for the quarrying that was going on there for the rock wall. You understand, if that thing drains out, we can get some rock samples from that. I've already been reading online. There are gemstone hunters and rock hunters who are fucking foaming at the mouth right now, who are camping out down there watching the lake levels decrease and waiting because they want to go in there and get some fucking rocks out of there. And I do too. Because if I can get some samples out of there, I can take those same samples and A/B them against samples from the rock wall and have absolute proof either way of where those rocks were quarried from, and the fact that they were quarried, stones at Rockwall were quarried from Beringer Hill. And, this whole thing with, I've got to get down there. Buddy of mine said he'll drive down there with me for a day or something soon, but I got to have the money to do that. But, this whole thing with the cancer rates, this may be a whole nother fucking movie in and of itself, folks. This is just a whole nother thing I fell into. I was not expecting to fall into, man. It's unbelievable. Whew. It's, that's just the kind of thing that happens inadvertently when you're doing this kind of research and this work, man. You just eventually fall into things you weren't expecting to find. And what do you do? I guess probably the smart thing for me to do would be to just ignore this, but I can't. I can't do that, man. I can't find out. A lot of people can do it. If you can do that, fine. But I just can't find out about something like as big as something like that. With that many implications, is just let it go. I can't. But something's got to be exposed here. Otherwise, they're going to come in and sell this all out to the fucking dirty Chinese, man. And I'm sorry. I'm not racist, and I generally try to put out as much love and positivity as I can. But fuck China. Fuck those motherfuckers. I don't think there's anybody on this planet that's a bigger threat to you and me and everybody on this planet than China. That's just all there is to it. The facts point in that direction. We're going to take a break, come back, and blow through our news for you here tonight. This is the Global Reality Late Night Moonbat Edition here on theglobalreality.com. We'll take a break, come back, and jump into the news for you here tonight, folks. I want to thank everybody for being with us. And we shall return. Stay with us. All right, back here with you on the Global Reality, right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here tonight for another Late Night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. My website where this broadcast originates from is theglobalreality.com. That's theglobalreality.com. My email address, if you'd like to send in questions, comments, anything else, love mail, titty pictures, non-saggy, please, preferable. Whatever else, globalrealityshow at gmail.com. It's globalrealityshow at gmail.com. There at my website, theglobalreality.com. We have the Chiven banner there. That's for the operating cost, everything for the month. And please help us meet that goal. And please chip in there and help us out so that our work can continue and so that we don't have to worry about fundraising all the time. That's how you do that. We also have the Kickstarter, which is not doing well at all. It'll last-ditch effort to get this film funded so I can get it done. Because I can't travel and go to the place I need to go to shoot the footage I need if I don't have a budget. If I don't have that footage, I can't complete the film. So, it's all nothing with Kickstarter, too. We only had 7 people contribute, or 7 people pledge. The money doesn't come out immediately. And there's none. I don't get any of it if we don't meet the whole goal. So there's 7 contributors. We have a whole range of options there. You can go to Kickstarter and type in Josh Reeves. It should come up. If not, you can find links to it. If you push play on the video player at the top of my website there of the little preview, you'll get a link to the Kickstarter page. So there's that. And it's my birthday. And, I've been pretty broke lately, and it'd be nice to be able to do something. So, you want to kick me something for my birthday? Hey, please do. All right. Before we get into the news tonight, a couple of things to handle here. First, I want to give out a couple of accolades and special thanks to a couple of gentlemen out there. First one is Daniel. Daniel is the guy who set up the Kickstarter for us and got that set up with his bank account and everything so we could do that. And he's been a big supporter of this film and a big helper trying to get some funds going for it. I appreciate everything he's been doing. So I just want to say, Daniel, thank you, my friend, for all your help and everything you're trying to do to scare up some funds going so we can get this done. I appreciate that so much. Another person I want to say thanks to in regards to that is the film stuff is Paul, Captain Paul. You know who you are. Paul has really helped us out tremendously with his film and made some donations towards it. But he also made even bigger than that. We have an Amazon wish list up at theglobalreality.com as well. If you don't want to make a cash donation, there are a lot of pieces of equipment on there that we need for filmmaking, for radio shows, for the soundtrack to these movies, because I do all that too. All kinds of stuff up there. We used to have fundraisers for that kind of thing, so we could buy the equipment, but I thought more people would be onto it than they have been. And I thought that would be a better route than to just say, okay, we need, I need this much money so I can buy this piece of gear. And then, that's faceless and nameless, and you don't really even know if, how do you know I'm going to go really buy that piece of gear with it? I always do, but, how do you know that? So with the Amazon gift list thing, it's transparent. It's there. I add stuff that we need on there to do the work that we have, because not just operating costs, we also need money to buy equipment. Equipment wears out. The films never get better if we don't constantly graduate up in the stuff. I don't have anything that you would call I don't even have anything you would call a professional camera. All my stuff is sub-professional level and, enthusiast level, as they call it. But I talked about wanting to get this camera, SLR camera, so that I could, get some photography gigs and possibility through this company I have the press pass with and stuff. And Paul said, fuck it. And fuck these phony Templar notes and fuck this credit enslavement system and did something pretty much I've been telling people for a long time. Fuck these people, man. It's all funny money anyway, and our whole world and system's based on funny money. So if you have an opportunity to take their funny money and shove it back up their ass by supporting me to help in my work, then, you should do that if you can. Well, Paul said, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. So Paul went to our Amazon gift list, and he used his credit card, and he bought the camera that we needed. So I have the camera. I have it in my possession now, and it is fucking incredible. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, so Paul, my friend, I salute you. I can't even say it enough, dude. You really, 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 really helped us out by getting that camera. If you guys see Paul in the chat room, please tip your hat to him and tell him thank you. Because the photos alone now, we're talking 16.3 megapixel. Jesus fucking God. And it shoots 1080 video too, which I haven't had a chance to check out yet because I don't have a big enough. That's the thing when you get these cameras. Yeah, you get the camera, but then you got to spend another $500 to get all the, whatever, to get $1,000 or whatever to get all the accessories and shit. But I got to get a bigger, big video, a pro class SD card. It's like $40. It's on my wish list right now for so I can do video stuff with it. But the pictures I'm doing, it's just incredible. So I'm going to be able to get, some really fucking amazing images now for these films and for everything. And I want to thank Paul for that. So Paul and Daniel, thank you so much. Your contributions towards this film, my friend. You guys are definitely getting your names in the credits and beyond. But also, before we get into the news, it is time, because we didn't get to do this last week. I was scrambling around trying to get bills paid last week, and there wasn't a lot of material. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our very first monthly #1 Global Reality All-Stars Monthly Drawing. Yes, indeed, the moment you've all waited for, the drawing. We're going to be pulling 2 names, giving away 2 prizes here for the month of June. Tonight, everybody that donated over $50 to either the films or the operating costs of the month of June is going to be getting their name drawn out of the hat that I have right here. And this, by the way, is my hat that I will actually wear, that I'll be drawing names out of. And we're going to be giving away, we didn't meet our goal for the operating cost, not the operating cost, the film budget. I think we came up like $1,500 short, or I don't remember how much it was, but anyway, still, those people who did contribute to that, I felt, should get a name here. So we're going to pull here for 2 prizes. So our first name is Michael in Michigan. Now, he's changed his fucking name in the chat room like 8 times. Michael of the fucking pissed off, and Michael of the I'll whoop your ass tribe, or whatever. I don't know. Either way, Michael in Michigan, Papa as I call you, you are winner #1. And so since I draw winner #2, I'll tell you what you guys have won. So there's winner #1. Michael, to his credit, he donates pretty regularly. And he had about 5 fucking entries, or fucking 10 entries, some shit in here. So it's not really a surprise he won. And I'm sure that's probably how it'll be. It's probably going to end up being the people who donate, regularly, who are going to win our prizes. But hey, that's what we're doing this for, right? All right, let's see. Let's go for one more, and then I'll tell you what your prize is. All right, drawing #2. Digging deep. All right. Winner #2. I'm not going to give out your last name. You know who you are. I will say this: you're the only person in our audience that I know of that has this name. And somebody who donates regularly and in large amounts, and somebody I just am eternally grateful to and will be grateful to for the rest of my life, honestly, for their contributions. Yancey, you are a winner here tonight. So Michael and Yancey. All right, Michael and Yancey, you guys are our #1 first drawing winners for the Gold Reality All-Stars. Everybody who donates $50 or more each week is going to get their name in the hat. At the end of the week of the shows, I will announce everybody's names and tell you who All-Stars are. And then at the end of the month, we'll do a drawing. Back in 2007, I put out my first film, 9/11 New World Rising, and I had that's really what launched me into filmmaking. We had a premiere here in Dallas at the beautiful Lakewood Theater. I had William Rodriguez, last man pulled out of the World Trade Center alive there. I mean, there's nothing in the world like seeing William Rodriguez jump and have a flashback from watching your movie. I mean, I cried like a baby. It was just too much for me to handle. But at that premiere, we sold copies of the film 9/11 New World Rising that night that were limited edition, numbered edition, white label copies, and the cut of that film that we showed that night is different than the cut that is on the internet. In fact, I don't think this cut ever made it on the internet. And these DVDs were never sold outside of that event. So only the people that were at that event that night got these, and they're all numbered and they're all limited edition, and they're clipped. These have never been sold on the internet. I've never offered these at any price. And we recently actually found a small amount of these that I didn't think we still had, that we had left, and These are not going to be offered for sale. These are ultra uber collector's items. There are lots of people out there who are completists as far as my work goes, and they won't or will not have these. You guys both won a limited edition first cut copy, signed and numbered by me. And for being our Global Reality All-Stars, you'll both receive these discs. Nobody else has. If you guys want to take them and sell them on eBay or whatever, go ahead. I don't care. But all I can say is you do have a collector's item, and probably you can bequeath it to your children or something. Probably maybe one day down the road, and I'm not around anymore, it might be worth a bit, and maybe you can get yourself something nice out of it, or send a kid to college or something. I don't know. But either way, thank you to you gentlemen, and thank you to everybody out there who support us, and I hope that you'll support us and help us continue here. And we'll have more Global Reality All-Star drawing coming up at the end of this month as well. And the prizes will differ, and the prizes will increase. We're going to be having trying to get some sponsors to sponsor the All-Star, so we can get some different prize packs and stuff. And they're progressively going to get better. But you both are going to receive something that nobody has ever been able to buy for any price. And is definitely in the world of my work is they're definitely rare items. So there you go. Let's get into the news here tonight. We're going to be blowing through this stuff quick. Biomechanical legs are a giant step for robot kind. Scientists in the United States say they have made the world's most advanced pair of biomechanical legs, bringing the goal of human-friendly household robots a bit closer. Shit, bringing the reality of fucking Terminator a bit closer. Please, bringing fucking Skynet a little bit closer. About half the size of their human counterparts, the legs are the first to mimic walking in biologically accurate, energy-efficient manner. They have the slide up and down movement of human legs using load sensors in feet. They can help a small computer adjust the motion according to... So, they're selling this, literally selling us this in this article as, oh my God, it's so great it's a medical breakthrough. No. You've got to read really what it's saying here. Our idea, one of the ideas is that we build what I call soft robots, which can be used around human beings. See, now they're telling you what the real deal is. This is actually intended for these robots to have human-like legs, not for humans to have robot-like legs. You understand? They're selling it to us under the guise of, oh, this is going to give humans robotic-like legs. No. They want robots to have human-like legs. And this robot, if you push against the legs, they'll give away freely. They won't resist you. The skeleton of the legs copies the three joints in the lower anatomy. The hips, knees, ankles, and the muscles are straps which move up and down as actuators. So, one step closer to full tilt Terminator boogie. Goodness. Oh, give me a second here. Sorry, the browser was being geeky. Oh, come on. I'm sure you all heard about this. The search for the God particle is over. Almost half a century after the existence of the Higgs boson, the particle that holds the universe together and gives it substance, was predicted. Jubilant scientists announced that they appear to have found it. And what's interesting about this is that there is some speculation that this is all horseshit, because the first initial reports that were coming out the other night, and I was tracking this as this was happening, because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning our time, and they were saying in an hour they were going to have a press conference to announce the discovery of the Higgs boson God particle. But then they came out and said they discovered this entirely new subatomic particle. And there has been some speculation that what they found may be something that's so unknown that they're actually calling it the God particle when it's not. I don't know for sure, but that's what they've said. Everybody wants to know what the implications of this are, what it means, and I think that the name implies what it means. The particle that holds the universe together and gives it substance. So what comprises matter. I think that they're not going to tell us everything they found. The implications of this are going to rock the foundations of both science and religion. That's just like my movie's going to. That's a fact. But is it going to be intentional? Is it by design? Are they doing it to collapse those the structures of those establishments to create the chaos they so love, to come in the ensuing order and set up new and more tyrannical forms of rule as they have traditionally done through the years? But for me, the biggest implication of this is the fact that when you start getting the ability to be able to break down all of our material reality and tear it apart down to its finest form to see how it works, that also means you then have the ability to be able to also reproduce and recreate that, which gives you the ability to start doing things like re-terraforming planets, which I think that our planet has been terraformed multiple times, and I don't mean accidentally. I mean by someone or something who had the intent. I think that's what happened to the dinosaurs. I think that's what explains all of the stuff that we currently think we know concerning prehistoric times. But this, I just don't like that. The thing about it is, I don't like the hands of the people this is in. I don't like the fact that CERN has a big, gigantic dancing Shiva statue out in front of it. I don't like the fact that their logo has 666 in it. I don't like the fact that they say that they can open up wormholes with that thing and put something in it and bring it back. I just don't like any of this one bit because I don't like it in the hands of the people who have funded this fucking thing. I mean, I think that in my opinion, if they actually really did find this Higgs-Boson God particle thing, which I have my doubts, I think they may have actually found some other unknown particle that's even fucking, could be even crazier or even more. They just they're in uncharted territory. And they may be thinking they found the God particle, but indeed found something else. My thing about this is, it just gives them the ability to create the real Matrix. In so many words. If you can start tearing down the fabric of reality, that means you can start rebuilding a new reality in its place, right? I just, I just don't. I applaud the work, and I think those things are important, but you just look at our history on this planet, folks, and it's just the chances of this knowledge and this information falling into the right hands is just, it's already fallen into the wrong hands. Danish archaeologists have reopened a mass grave of scores of slaughtered Iron Age workers to find new clues about their fate and the bloody practices of Germanic tribes on the edge of the Roman Empire. Lots of archaeological news tonight. Bones of around 200 soldiers have already been found preserved in a peat bog near the village of Aachen on Denmark's Julian Peninsula. God, if they say these fuckers have red hair, I'm going to freak out. Because they sound like my boys again. Experts are digging around on Monday saying they expected to find more bodies dating back 2,000 years to around the time of Christ. Aarhus University archaeologist Matus Kaler-Holst said, and I guess we will end up with a scale that is much larger than the 200 that we have at present. Speaking by phone from the site on a damp grazing meadow near Julian's large Lake Mose, he added, "Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I got distracted by this picture. Shit. Oh, man. Hold on a second. I know there's nobody in there right now except John, but I appreciate John being in there nonetheless. But look at, I mean, if you can come and find the link later in chat, look at that picture. Can you look at that for me, John? If you're awake still, buddy. Because I have the shit contrast and shit turned down on this monitor, so it won't be a fucking heat lamp and maybe sweat balls in here. So maybe the color's off of this. Look how fucking it was in a peat bog. My God, 2,000 years old. Look how insanely preserved that is. Scroll down, John, to about the middle of the anybody out there, everybody. The second picture. God, my color may be off, man, but is that guy have red hair? Maybe you can give me a second opinion on that. Guy looks like he has fucking red hair. That's just nuts. I don't think. I mean, is there a precedent for this? Have we ever found bodies that old, that well preserved? I mean, that's unbelievable. That looks like they died yesterday. The first bones belonging to people as young as 13 were discovered in 2009. Cuts and slashes on the skeleton show that they had died violently, said Hoist. But nothing was known for sure about the identity of the killers or their victims. This is one of the big mysteries. We don't know if it is local or foreign. We would expect it to be local. We think that it is a sacrifice related to the welfare, and probably the defeated soldiers were killed and thrown into the lake. The remains are from the beginning of the Roman Iron Age, though Roman armies never reached so far north. It was the time when the Roman Empire had its greatest expansion to the north, Hull said, but even that push only got the Romans as far as modern-day Germany, a few hundred kilometers to the south of the Danish site. Now, that's just unbelievable. Old and black and looks like red hair. Yeah, I think the blackness comes from the peat bog that was found in, because the mud or whatever just absorbed into it. Unbelievable preservation, though. Yeah, John says looks like red hair to him. See, there we go. There's our Amorites again. Thank you, John, for that second opinion there, buddy. Appreciate that. The arrival of mushrooms may have stopped the formation of coal deposits we burn as fuel today. This fuel is actually the fossilized remains of plants that lived from around 360 to 300 million years ago. But at the end of that period, coal stopped forming. Now, scientists believe that the evolution of fungi that ate dead plants may have stopped coal deposits from forming. The discovery might pave the way for new biofuels. The evolution of fungi capable of fully digesting plants may have stopped dead plants from building up into peat and then forming coal. I mean, have you ever seen what mushrooms, fungus, what they create? Their root system is actually a neural network. That's unbelievable. I mean, it literally looks like the fibers in, like a human spine. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And, they're just an insane organism. Britain's Atlantis, a hidden underwater world swallowed by the North Sea, has been discovered by divers working with science teams from the University of St. Andrews. Now, this is something that I want to state. A lot of people get confused by this because the academia causes this confusion and this cognitive dissonance intentionally. Because when you actually read the internal, I mean, I've got a book, man. It's, internal annals of the, Illuminated Brotherhood or whatever, the pre-OTO group. I paid like $100 for this book off of Amazon. I got the PDF too. It's out there. You can find the PDF, but I got the actual book, and it's actually like inscribed to some initiate by the author and stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable. But it's their internal annals on Atlantis, and Atlantis was a civilization that expanded all over the globe. not just in one area of the world. Because every time they find something like this and people say, oh, this is Atlantis. No, that's not Atlantis. Atlantis was here. Well, it could have very well been a part of the Atlantean culture. Because, again, the Atlantean culture stretched all over the globe. They were the ones that set up the first New World Order, the first Brotherhood of Man. And when they attempted to use that Brotherhood of Man for the enslavement of the people instead of the freeing and the expansion of consciousness, they got destroyed. So this is very possible. This could have been a part of this ancient actual Atlantis civilization. Doggerland, a huge area of dry land that stretches from Scotland to Denmark, was slowly submerged by water between 18,000 BC and 5,500 BC. This is 6,500 BC was when supposedly this happened. Divers from oil companies found remains of a drowned world with a population of tens of thousands, which might have once been the real heartland of Europe. Oh, my goodness. They found remains of people? I mean, it makes it sound like here. Wow, how would they know it was that many people? A team of climatologists, archaeologists, and geophysicists has now mapped the area using new data from oil companies and revealed the full extent of a lost land once roamed by mammoths. The research suggests that the populations of these drowned lands could have been tens of thousands, living in an area that stretched from northern Scotland across to Denmark and down the English Channel as far as the Channel Islands. The area was once the real heartland of Europe and was hit by a devastating tsunami, the researchers claim. Well, there you go. It'd be giant waves and, from a giant fucking massive worldwide flood, right? The deluge. Good God, looks like a great deluge in here, man. Part of guys, you have some fucking Thorazine in this bag, man. Otherwise, you're in serious fucking trouble. The wave was part of a larger process that submerged the low-lying area over a course of thousands of years. The name was coined for Dogger Bank, but it applies to any of the several periods when the North Sea was land. Around 20,000 years ago, there was a maximum, although part of this area would have been covered with ice. Yeah, Midland Mini. Skeleton they found in Midland, Texas. Dates to 20,000 years. Isn't that interesting? So a lot of new data from oil and gas companies, we were able to give form to the landscape and make sense of the mammoths found out there and the reindeer. We were able to understand the types of people who were there. People seem to think rising sea levels are a new thing, but it's a cycle of Earth's history that has happened by many, many times. I'd be interested to see more pictures of this. There's really not a lot here. They found fossilized mammoth bone there. That's interesting stuff. A total of 26 places around the globe, including farmhouses in Sweden and a Neolithic site in Turkey, have been added to the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites so far this year, according to a recent announcement during the World Heritage Committee's annual meeting. Now, this is crazy because some of these sites in here, folks, even I haven't heard of, and even some of them I thought were like fictional places. And me, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot. I mean, I am an idiot, but I didn't know Xanadu was a real fucking place. I thought that was a mythical. I mean, I know all about Xanadu and, the literary sense and held within the pleasure dome, decreed by Kubla Khan. I know all that stuff. But I didn't know it was an actual place. Well, apparently, Xanadu is on the list of the new World Heritage Sites. The Behistun inscription in Iran is in a World Heritage Site as well. Here's a list of the newest additions. 5 natural sites were inscribed during the present sessions. Lakes Oananga in Chad, Sahanga Trinational in Cameroon, Xinjiang Fossil Site in China, the Western Ghats in India. I've never heard of any of these places. The Lena Pillars Nature Park in the Russian Federation. The Perling Testimony of an Island Economy in Bahrain. What the fuck is that? Major mining sites of Wallonia in Belgium. Rio de Janeiro. Caracoa landscapes between the mountain and the sea, Brazil. The landscape of Grand Prix in Canada. Site of Xanadu in China. Didn't know it was an actual place. Historic town Grand Basin, Côte de l'Ivoire, Nord Pas des Champs mining basin in France, Marigrave Opera House in Germany, Majesset e Jeme of Estafan, I don't know what the fuck that is, Islamic Republic of Iran, Gonab EQ, Iran, never heard of some of these places. Sites of human. Listen to this. Tell me if this doesn't sound strange to you. Now, you all know about Mount Carmel, and that ties in with these Amorites and these mound builders that I've been on for this new film. Sites of human evolution at Mount Carmel. That seem a little odd to you? I've never heard them put it like that. I mean, that sounds like... I mean, you think about what the Sumerian texts say about Mount Carmel and that whole thing, but I've never... I mean, really? Are they really openly admitting that there was human evolution going on at Mount Carmel? I mean, I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, that seems like a fuck-up. Birthplace of Jesus, Church of Nativity at the pilgrimage route in Bethlehem, Palestine. That just seems strange, though. Sites of human evolution at Mount Carmel. Well, thank you for admitting that, but what kind of human evolution are we talking about here? Oh, I don't know, genetic manipulation, maybe? A glittering mosaic of colored stones once decorated an ancient synagogue floor with the scenes of the biblical hero Samson getting revenge on the Philistines. Now, supposedly Samson, the big long red-haired, he was a red-haired dude. And Samson, as far as I can tell, was most definitely one of these Amorites. And yet again, more news. I mean, I've got 3 or 4 things that probably connect to these Amorites here in the news tonight. And Samson, of course, the Philistines, however you want to say it, the Philistines were at one time the keepers of the Ark of the Covenant. And they were giants. That's openly admitted. They were giants. And it's funny. Let me read this for you. Samson was killed when he went in this temple where the Philistines, who were giants, had just done a religious sacrifice to Dagon. Now, give me a fucking break. Y'all know what Dagon is, right? So let me get this straight. These giants who had the Ark of the Covenant had just done a sacrifice in a temple to Dagon. And here comes Samson. And he pushes the pillars down and causes this thing to come crumbling down, killing both him and the other Philistines inside. And I just started getting flashes of rock wall stuff when I was reading this, going, my goodness. Because, the two pillars, they sound like the same 2 pillars of Solon. These pillars that had the, 2 pillars of Jachin and Boaz. The 2 pillars that had, after the fall of Atlantis, before the fall of Atlantis, and were scattered around the world, that had the rules for mankind to follow on them. Very much resembling the reports in Rockwall, these gentlemen that saw these 2 black pillars under the ground that shone like something out of the Orient. It started making me wonder, about the rock wall and about that whole thing, and they found giant skeletons around there. I mean, could this temple have been what the rock wall was? I mean, it's possible. I don't know. But they found this tile floor, mosaic tile floor. Now, they found not pictures like this, but they found mosaic tile floors 200,000 years old in Oklahoma. Tell me that's not odd. But here's this, ancient floor found, and there's Samson, the red-haired giant, depicted right there on the floor. That's just unbelievable. Easter Island drug raises cognition throughout lifespan in mice. Very interesting. Cognitive skills such as learning and memory diminish with age in everyone, and the drop-off is steepest in Alzheimer's disease. Texas scientists seeking a way to prevent this decline reported exciting results this week with a drug that has Polynesian roots. The researchers appointed in the School of Medicine at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio added rapamycin to the diet of healthy mice through the rodent's lifespan. Rapamycin, a bacterial product first isolated from soil on Easter Island, enhanced learning and memory in young mice and improved these faculties in old mice. Now, tell me that's not unbelievable. So they isolate this thing found only in soil on Easter Island, and lo and behold, it keeps your cognitive skills and your learning and memory from diminishing as you get older, and is probably the cure for Alzheimer's disease. Of course, you won't get it unless you're fucking David Rockefeller or Henry Kissinger. Oh, give me more of the Lord, should I rub it on my balls? Well, Warner von Braun said first it would be communists, then it would be third world crazy terrorists, then it would be asteroids, then it would be aliens. It would all be used to weaponize space. And goddammit, he was right about everything else. I mean, he would know. Ex-head of the Nazi space program, brought over here after World War II to head up NASA with other former Nazis and Freemasons. We couldn't get a rocket off the ground until those motherfuckers came over here. A newly announced private space telescope mission aims to reduce Earth's vulnerability to catastrophic asteroid strikes, which the instrument builders regard as unacceptably high. The Sentinel Space Telescope with the nonprofit B612 Foundation hopes to launch in 2017 or 2018 may identify 500,000 near-Earth asteroids in less than 6 years of operation. Quite a feat, considering that just 10,000 such space rocks have been cataloged to date. This asteroid mapping work is vitally important, B612 officials say, because some big and dangerous space rocks undoubtedly have Earth's name on them. They have hit the Earth in the past and will do so again in the future unless we do something about it. It's all about weaponizing space. Because if you weaponize space, you can keep anybody who may want to get off the plantation of your global government and start their own country and say, we don't want to be a part of that New World Order anymore. They'll go, fuck you. They'll zap your ass from space. Straight up Real Genius style. You ever see that movie back in the day? Back in the 80s with Val Kilmer? Associated Press, meteor may have started the latest blaze in Colorado. This came out June 22nd. I've talked a little bit about this, found out more. There is a massive cover-up going on the cost of these wildfires in Colorado. They say they found the area today where it started at, but they won't say what caused it. And there is a massive PR campaign going on to cover up what they know about the origins of these wildfires, and all the information is most certainly pointing in the direction that this was caused by meteors or something falling out of the sky, and there is a massive cover-up going on. The Huffington Post reported the day the fires broke out, all of the airplanes were grounded because they couldn't go up and fly and dump water and all this stuff and chemicals on these fires because of the danger of these meteorites that were still falling out of the sky hitting the planes. Now, of course, Jones and any of these other clowns will get up there and tell you, oh, it's Obama. Obama cut funding to the airplanes, and that's what it is. Well, you know what? That may be true, but it still does not explain away the fact that the Associated Press reported that these airplanes were grounded the day those fires broke out because of the threat of meteorites. Authorities granted firefighting aircraft battling an out-of-control blaze scorching central Colorado, reacting with caution to witness reports of meteor sightings. The temporary move came amid several reported sky sightings near the fire burning. There's UFO sightings were going on all around there as well. 1,100 acres and nearly 2 square miles west of Colorado Springs. That's where it started at. So this was when it first broke out and happened. They weren't sure what it was, Segan said, confirming the report of a possible meteor shower. Meanwhile, the crew of a heavy air tanker spotted something while making a slurry run on the blaze, said Steve Segan, a spokesman for the U.S. Forest Service. They landed as they normally do to reload, and for safety reasons, they grounded themselves until they could figure out what it was that they saw. So they're seeing shit flying out of the sky. They don't even know what the fuck it is. So even saying it's meteors could be speculation. The Colorado sightings corresponded with reports of a possible meteor filed by the crews of 2 commercial aircraft over Liberal, Kansas, said meteorologist Scott Eckenstein of the National Weather Service in Boulder. Other sky sightings were reported in Renton, New Mexico. He also said there were reported disruptions with commercial airline traffic. Fire officials ordered 4 single-engine aircraft to stay on the ground as a precaution. I smell a rat. There's something going on with this. Somebody knows something. They're covering it up. U.S. government denies evidence of mermaids. So mermaids definitely exist. I could have said it better myself. That's the title of this article here from Gawker. I don't think you need to know anything else other than that. You know, the second the government tells you something doesn't exist, you need to believe it exists. One government agency is clamoring all over itself this summer to let Americans know that mermaids almost certainly do not exist. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of mermaids, you won't even get this at all because it really has nothing to do with mermaids. But Josh's movie pick of the week. Now, it's not available to download on BitTorrent yet, you pirates. Not unless you want to get a shitty cam version. I don't advise it because this movie's very dark. And if you don't see what's in this movie, you're not going to get it. You're not going to like the movie. So don't watch it in a cam. Watch anything else on a fucking cam or whatever else. Don't watch this cam. It's at the dollar movies right now. You can go find this. Should be, coming out pretty soon on video. But my sister Jamie and her boyfriend Chris wanted me to let you all know, all of you listeners out there, that you guys are slacking at your jobs because they had to tell me about a movie before any of you did. And it blows me away, the shit that's in this movie. And I can't tell you what's in it. You're just going to have to watch it front to end for yourself. It's called Cabin in the Woods. Now, by the title and by kind of how the movie seems when you first start watching it, you kind of think it's got the guy that played Thor in it. But it just on the surface looks like it's going to be, another teen slasher flick, right? All the cliches of the slasher flick, and soon as the titties come out, somebody's getting stabbed in the woods, right? Right before some pussy's about to get stabbed in the woods, somebody gets stabbed for real in the woods. Classic kind of shit. But then it derails into this fucking Side-Hatchian nutty madness that definitely has to do with some stuff that we talk about all the time here on this show. That's all I can tell you. I didn't see this shit coming. But Cabin in the Woods, you got to see that fucking movie because I think you're going to go, oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, I think Josh is right about the shit he's been saying. Ooh, I think those Sumerian text might be right about some things, too. Oh, man. So, yeah. Mermaids exist. What may be the oldest fragments of the modern human genome found yet have been now been revealed? DNA from the 7,000-year-old bones of 2 cavemen unearthed in Spain. Pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. Closer and closer, more I get done with this film, the farther back my dating goes. Well, look, they're pushing it back more and more, too. Scientists have recently sequenced the genomes of our closest extinct relatives, the Neanderthals and the how do you say that? Denisovans. When it came to our lineage, the oldest modern human genomes uncovered yet came from the Otzi Iceman, a 5,300-year-old mummy found in the Alps in 1991, but researchers have salvaged DNA from even older human cells. But this comes from the mitochondria that generate energy for our bodies and not from the nucleus where our chromosomes are housed. Now, researchers have rescued fragments from genomes from the remains of 2 cavemen unearthed in northern Spain, and they're finding more. Wait a second. We don't really fit in with this. Yes, they're still a lot like us, but yes, they're still a lot different. Pushing it back. Pottery fragments found in the South China cave have been confirmed to 20,000. There's that number again. 20,000 years. 20,000 years ago, huh? So 20,000 years ago was when these... I think that's also when they said Atlantis fell into the ocean. I mean, that's when that thing they found in Europe, they said to collapse, right? 20,000 years ago? Midland Mini, found in Texas. Big skeleton there, found out in Midland, which, of course, it's in Smithsonian now. 20,000 years old. Pottery shards in China, 20,000 years old. Well, that just stops mud holes in the Christians that say the earth was created 10,000 years ago, doesn't it? The earth was created 10,000 years ago. Here's a pottery shard from 20,000 years ago. That's a lie. Like Bill Hicks said, God put that here to test our faith. Yeah, I think God put you here to test my faith, buddy. Come on, Dad, let's fuck with them. Throw some dinosaur bones down there. Ancient text confirms the Mayan calendar end date. A newly discovered Mayan text reveals the end date for the Mayan calendar, becoming only the second known document to do so. But unlike some modern people, ancient Mayan did not expect the world to end on that date. Notice how they're changing and shifting this around. I've never been one that has put too much stock in this 2012 shit. But I've also noticed that there's been a shift. Whereas there used to be a lot of researchers and a lot of conspiracy theorists and stuff talking about the 2012 thing. And I noticed that over the past couple of years, it's become almost unfashionable to even discuss or even say that there's even a slight possibility that anything's going to happen on December 21st this year at the winter solstice. Or winter equinox or whatever it is. But I have to say, I agree with a lot of that stuff for a long time, too, that, there's probably nothing to it and this, that, and the other. But, folks, I got to say, two things that really bother me. Number one, the research I've been doing into this film has me to believe beyond any shadow of doubt, more than I ever had any facts to back up before. When you look at whoever these people were, these giants, these Amorites, who were all over the planet, seeding people with culture and knowledge and all this stuff, and you think about the implications of the Mayans having dealings with these people as well, and you look at how accurate their alignments have been with celestial events and how accurate and measurable those are. I mean, Anubis Cave. There's a measurement there of an event that happened in the sky thousands of years ago that's marked there with a marking of Anubis on the Colorado-Oklahoma border. And I got to say, to see the scientific community and the mainstream as a whole go from saying, "Oh well, that's a bunch of crap. World ain't gonna end on 2012." The Mayan calendar never had an end to it. It just ended. Well, it just ended there because they ran out of rock or whatever, or they got bored, or they stopped. That doesn't mean. And now they're trying to turn it around and say, "Oh no, well, wait a minute. We found something here that does have an end date to it. It actually does have an end date, but it's not 2012." But they never said the end of the world was going to be happening anyway. They said the end of the known world. So to see them now scrambling to try and change the belief of this, coupled with the fact that there's been this, I don't know, man. I'm now starting to kind of think there may be something to it. Because I see evidence in these mounds, ladies and gentlemen, that they were built to withstand and to also document and show time periods when cataclysms were going to happen on the planet. And if these guys who built these mounds are the same people who interacted and gave knowledge to the Mayans, then there's a chance, folks, that me and a lot of other people who have kind of said, there may or may not be anything to this 2012 thing, there's a chance a lot of people could be wrong. And I would not say that in the least bit, folks, if I didn't have new information and new knowledge and new research to back this up. I would never have said that prior to doing this work and the research for this new film. Now that I'm finding out who these guys were and what knowledge they had and what it goes back to, and what it goes back to was undoubtedly the same people that are described in the Sumerian text as the Anunnaki, it does make me sort of say, well, they've been accurate with everything else as far as alignment, celestial events, the ability to plant crops and grow crops in one try, no trial and error whatsoever, just overnight, growing crops and having societies and having, where did it come from? It just, these civilizations literally went from being primitive to having these full-blown big civilizations with culture and religion and astronomy knowledge and all this stuff. Literally overnight. They all have stories of these giant gods that they communicated with. I just, I'm not telling you to freak out and think the end of the world's going to happen on December 21st. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is to everybody out there, including researchers and radio hosts and all that, I advise you as a friend and as a fellow researcher, even whether or not you like me or not, or believe anything I say or anything at all, but as a fellow researcher, you need to heed my words on this. You need to trust me on this when I tell you that I do not advise everyone to just throw the baby out with the bathwater on this 2012 thing and dismiss it all willy-nilly because of the stuff that I've encountered now. There very well could be something to. Now, whether or not that's going to mean 12-strand DNA activation or the end of the world or who knows what, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, honestly. It could be anywhere. I mean, I do know galactic alignment is real. I do know that these ancient sites are aligned to these solstices and whatnot for a reason. That's probably why so many people are afraid to help me fund this movie. Because they know the things that I'm going to prove in this movie are going to put a lot of researchers and people out there out of work, really. Because it's going to expose a lot of people's bullshit. That's for goddamn sure. Well, we're going to leave it there for tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and tuning in later or whenever you're listening. Good to be back and be a show with you. I'm not going to be doing a show tomorrow, though, because it's my birthday. And I didn't really want to do a show tonight, but I'm glad I did. I'm just trying to keep myself from getting burnt out. I've just been getting, I don't know, man. Lately, I've just been wondering if any of this is even worth it. Thankfully, the few of you out there, like Paul and Daniel and Michael and Yancey and other people out there, a lot of you out there, and John, the chat, just everybody, the people who I really know, you guys constantly remind me why it is that I'm doing this, and I appreciate that, and appreciate you guys' support. Yeah, I've been going, I can't continue to do this and not be getting at least enough back out of it to continue to do it. I'm tired of spinning my wheels on this rat wheel. I'm tired of giving my soul and my hard work and everything away to people who just, either want to use my show as entertainment or, to, like I said before, not give two shits of a motherfucker about me and just, want me to spend my life and kill myself researching and doing this stuff so they can then take my information and use it for their own benefit, not giving fuck one about me or my life or anything else. And I'm just done with that. So If those people are out there, and I know they are, you can pay $2 a show like everybody else. Anyway, happy birthday to me. Thanks to everybody for being out there. TheGlobalReality.com is my website. Please make a donation, for God's sakes. I'm broke as hell over here. We just had to pay the bills. We got not very a lot of help. That's why I ain't been any shows in the past week. I've been scrambling trying to get everything fucking paid. Finally got everything fucking paid. I tried not to get up here and bitch about this tonight, folks, but we need some goddamn help. Please. We'll see you next time. You guys have a great one. Take care.